Welcome to a new Ask Now summary. Today we are introducing Making Strategy Work by Lawrence G. Cherniak. To formulate a strategy is relatively simple. But to set it up in the whole organization is not. No business strategy can succeed without an effective implementation. Unfortunately, most of the managers know a lot more about how to develop a strategy than on how to execute and overcome the political obstacles and organizational issues that are opposed to it. Every organization presents some separation between planning and implementation, formulation and completion. However, when such separation becomes dysfunctional, problems appear. When the elite plans and watches the running as something that is underneath them, the successful implementation of the strategy is put in risk. A basic problem is that many managers know more about strategy formulation than about its implementation. They are trained to plan, not to implement the plans. The second problem is that some high-level managers really believe that strategy implementation is something they better leave to low-level employees. In other words, the second ones manage the execution. What are the challenges of implementation? Let's see. There are 8 types of implementation challenges. Develop a model to guide decisions or actions regarding the execution. Understand how the creation of a strategy affects its execution. Manage changes effectively, including the cultural change. Understand how to use power and influence to achieve success in the execution. Develop organizational structures that encourage the exchange of information, coordination and clear accountability. Develop effective controls and feedback mechanisms. Build knowledge on how to create support culture for the execution. Exercise execution-oriented leadership. Which model will allow strategy implementation? Well, this model is made up of corporate strategy, corporate structure and integration, business strategy and short-term operational objectives, corporate structure and integration, controls and incentives. Corporate strategy refers to the organization as a whole, and is concentrated in areas such as portfolio management, diversification and the allocation of resources among the companies or operational units that make up the company as a whole. Corporate structure/integration makes reference to the organizational units created in response to demands from the corporate strategy. The integration component of the corporate structure refers to the methods used to achieve the coordination among the units comprised in the organizational structure. Business strategy and short-term operational objectives. Business strategy refers to the division strategy and the major operational units within them. Business structure integration. The corporate structure is important for the implementation of business strategy. In a sense, it is necessary to speak about organizational structures or designs. To impose the same structure to all companies or divisions simply because they are part of the same organization is not a logical or adequate way to decide the structure. Incentives and controls. The model wouldn't be complete as the creation of coordination strategies, objectives, structure and mechanisms is not enough to ensure that individuals adjust their own goals to those of the organization. Individual targets should be consistent with organizational ones. Incentives must strengthen strategic short-term objectives. Individual and group compensations are an important aspect of strategic implementation as they control performance with regard to desired, strategic and short-term results. Controls make up a feedback loop. They provide information on goal achievement that stems from strategy and other aspects of our implementation model. However, how to manage change? The author intends to follow 6 steps. First step. Size and content of change. The first step is to decide what the focus of attention related to efforts of change is. What should be changed? How big is the problem or threat the organization is facing? And how should it respond? Second step. Time available for change. How long does management have to implement change? Can the organization spare time or should it act fast? Third step. Change process tactics/execution. How should change be implemented? Should it move forward by parts or at one go? Should it be implemented slowly and methodically or fast so as to achieve it in a single tug? Fourth step. Responsibility and accountability. Who is responsible for certain elements or aspects of the process of change? Are responsibility and accountability clear to all those who are related to change? Step 5. Overcoming resistance to change. It is vital to overcome resistance to change or to the new implementation efforts. Open resistance and in particular, covert resistance can kill or harm change and implementation efforts. Sixth and last step, monitor change. Are changes working? How tough or flexibly should change be monitored? Which monitoring methods should be used? Remember, without an effective execution, no business strategy can succeed. We have introduced the main concepts of the book. To help you strengthen your learning, a practice drill will be available. You will also find a PDF file where the introduced concepts are expanded, and an application tool that will help you transfer them to the assignment, as well as the class on iPod video and MP3 carry-along format. Thank you for your attention, and we hope to meet you in our next summary.